Hey Jessica, wait a minute, where are you going?
It's a beautiful night out here, don't you think I ought to run out here for a bit?
Wait up, I'm coming. You're fast, aren't you? Just go on now, I'll catch up as soon as I am breathing normally again.
Hey Scott, where are you? You said you were coming, or did I hear you wrong? I thought you were following me. You probably had to stop to catch your breath. I understand how that feels. Ugh, that smell is disgusting. I think I should head back. What the heck is going on? Why is there toxic waste in the middle of the street? Get this toxic smell away from me. These are brand new shoes. No, there is no way out. Get it away.
Look who's ready for the big day. Me. That's who. Why didn't I go for the job as a comedian? Hello. Yes, this is Dr. Drake. Diana? Why are you suddenly calling your ex-husband? Yeah, what about her? All right, I'll see what I can do. Thank you. Hey, who said you could come in here?
Someone named Dr. Lee did. She let me in to visit Jessica Dimps.
Jessica Dimps. The one Miss Green reported to be absent?
How do you know about that?
She's my ex-wife. She called me about it.
Well, it's a surprise to see someone who knows Miss Green, because I've never heard about you. My name's Todd Hernandez.
Nice to meet you. I'm Dr. Drake and I'd like to see the patient.
Oh, of course.
Holy crap.
What is it?
Now I see why she was absent. This is a big owie if I ever saw one.
What do you think could have caused that?
I don't know. It doesn't look like any other case I've seen. What's up with her clothes?
We should probably get a bit more information about this whole thing.
Well, do you know who saw her last?
Was I there? No. Did anybody tell me about it? No. How could I know who day her last?
Does Principal Harlem know that Dimps is in this hospital?
I assume so. I don't see a reason why he shouldn't.
We should call him about it just in case. Oh, and one more question.
Yes?
You said you work at the high school Dimps attends. How come you're not there to teach?
It's my day off. But Carla Red is more than happy to cover for me.
That's always nice. I'll just go ahead and give Principal Harlem a call. This is Principal Harlem's office. Principal Harlem, one of your absent students is Jessica Dimps.
Most absolutely yes. Why?
She's in our hospital. She seems to be in bad shape.
Bad shape? What do you mean? Is she injured or anything?
It's a much worse scenario than I am able to explain.
Oh, come on. You can't possibly just keep things secret from me.
It's not that I'm not allowed to explain. It's just that the conditions she is in are far beyond explanation. You're gonna need to come here and see for yourself.
Alright, I'll arrange for a visit. I'll be there sometime.
I can arrange for it to be about 3:30 p.m.?
Yes, that should do fine.
I'll see you then.
Have a good one.
Lizzie, there's something I need to talk about with you.
What is it about, Scott?
It's about Jessica. You know how she was absent today?
Yeah.
Well, it happened last night. Jessica was running down the street. I was trying to catch up with her. I stopped to catch my breath. Then ran back home because it was getting late.
Well, okay, but how do we know you weren't the last person with her when she disappeared?
I don't know. That was just my side of the story.
We need to tell Miss Green about this.
I don't think we should.
She's worried about Jessica as much as I am. I mean, Jessica's my best friend. I wouldn't want anything bad happening to her.
Maybe it's already happened.
Don't start thinking like that. It's possible that she might be fine.
Well, if she's fine, why would she miss school today?
Okay, maybe not that fine.
Yeah, now that I think about it, she could just be down with a cold or maybe a fever.
Maybe. Let's not focus on that right now. I have to get back home and do my homework.
That's all good. See you tomorrow.
Maybe.
Whoa, she looks like a zombie. What happened to her? Remember how it was far beyond my explanation?
Yeah.
This is why.
Aren't you supposed to be some kind of medical scientist?
You think that because I am a medical scientist, I know everything about medics?
Her resting heart rate doesn't seem to be that bad.
This is not at a normal rate. Her heart seems to be beating at about 3 beats per minute. She's still alive, but in a coma.
Do you think she's going to be living much longer?
If my calculations are correct, she might be dead by the end of the day.
Oh crap. Guess that means you better hurry with that cure.
I don't know of any cure. How am I supposed to cure something I don't know about?
Get another expert on it.
I doubt that they would know about this kind of stuff any more than I do.
Well, what should I do about this whole thing?
Nothing for now. Just go back home and enjoy your everyday life.
That's all right. I was about to leave after this visit anyway. Officer, what are you doing in here?
As I've heard from a Mr. and Mrs. Dimps, their daughter has gone missing and I'm looking for her.
A missing child?
Exactly. Drake. 2 questions. 1. Why are you at this cafe instead of at the hospital? 2. Have you seen Jessica Dimps anywhere?
Oh, you're looking for Jessica Dimps. She's in the hospital, so she's in good hands. Depending on if I can save her.
Depending on if you can save her? How badly injured is she?
She's in a worse situation than even I can describe. You'll need to see her yourself.
Well, if you say so.
You asked about why I was here, right? I'm getting coffee, of course. I want to make sure I'm nicely refreshed before I head to work. Don't worry, I'm not running too late.
I sure hope not. She was in this room, wasn't she? Cut me a break.
I tell you she was in here. I'm sure she must be dead by now.
Dr. Drake, where is Jessica?
She was in this room yesterday, I'm sure of it. She might have been kidnapped, which might not have had any purpose, considering she was dying. But you know how stupid people could be.
I don't think this was a kidnapping. As far as I know, she must have been dead already in this very room, and some clown thought it'd be a good idea to take the body without any advance notice.
Something had to give. Something had to have happened to cause her to disappear on such short notice.
We'll need to conduct an investigation. It's the best thing to do at the moment.
Well, hurry up then. Don't just stand there.
Chief.
Lady, you'll need to take it more easy with closing the door. Also, you should have knocked first or at least made an appointment. Anyways, what do you want?
I still need my daughter found. As the president's secretary, I demand that my daughter is back home.
You came in here raving about it not that long ago. How can this effect be kicking in already?
I don't care how long it takes to get my daughter back. I want her back right away.
Police forces are already looking for the missing child. It may take a while to find her. You'll have to be patient.
Patient? How can I be patient when I haven't seen my daughter for about 36 hours?
Please leave my office. We should no longer discuss this situation until your daughter is found again. I don't want any more arguments. Are we clear on that?
Oh, if you say so. What a rude police officer. Weren't that much nicer like in the old days.
This woman is clearly obsessed with her daughter's return. She's worse than any ditzy woman at all. Actually, she may be the ditziest of them all. Chief Cervantes. I was surprised to get your call about Mrs. Kennedy. Surprised? Why? Surprised that she has gone unusually aggressive. What was it to be surprised about? I thought my secretary was much nicer. She has grown a bit of aggression all of a sudden. What do you expect from someone who hasn't seen their daughter for a while? Maybe a bit of aggression, but Kennedy should at least try to be a bit more calm about these situations that are beyond our control. I don't care how long it takes to find Jessica Dimps, Kennedy should have been a bit less nasty. Why do we even put up with this woman? Why should we have to deal with these complaints that come straight from her? Here's some explanation. I'm the president of Plotopolis. You're the police chief of Plotopolis. Therefore, both of us have authority. Kennedy is our secretary and wants to make sure everything runs with accuracy and on schedule. Shouldn't we hire another secretary? You really think it's that easy? Even the president and the police force have to follow laws placed. Have you ever thought of firing Mrs. Kennedy? And what would I get out of that? Besides, she has been acting up just now. Why should we take immediate action? You bring up a good point, President. But we didn't start this investigation just to hear moping from Kennedy, saying things like, "Where the freak is my daughter? When will she be back? If you took action she wouldn't have disappeared." And stuff like that. Oh, you're right, we didn't. Where was she last seen? Or do you know? I don't know. But I did get notified that she has been taken to the hospital down the street yesterday. But suddenly this morning, she's gone. Just like that? Just like that. That only makes the matter worse. Why would she just be gone like that? Something must have had to give. Something must have caused this to happen. It can't have just happened for no reason, can it? Nope. We need a proper team of investigators and medics to solve this mystery. Medics? Why medics? In case she is in a worse condition, of course. Oh, that's right. See, over the years my brain doesn't work like it used to. Always boggled by some teenager pulling some dumb stunt just to bother people. This is the kind of stuff that stops my thought process. It makes me wonder if he's doing it on purpose. I suppose I should let you get your cup of coffee and continue the day like normal.
It depends if Miss Dimps can be found. So let me get this straight, Mr. Harlem. You need me to straighten one of the legs on this coffee table? Yes. I'm about to put up a meeting in 2 hours, and I need the whole thing done within 1 hour so I can do my preparations properly. What is it you're going to discuss? The disappearance of a student? How did you guess that? A police officer came to the cafe I was at this morning to ask about the student's disappearance. Why you specifically? Did I say she came right up to me to ask? Where the heck is whatever this student's name is? Tell me right friggin' now. No. I never said such thing. Just get to work while I get the meeting organized. What the? I thought Harlem was still working in his meeting arrangements. I'd better hurry up about this leg adjustment. How interesting of you to come, Harlem. Oh, and before you ask, the process is going quite well. Now may I ask why you are walking to me so slowly? Are you trying to be dramatic? How unprofessional of you. Wait a minute. Oh no! It sounds like Nils is having a bit of trouble. I think he'll be alright. He's dealt with more serious things than this. Ah, who am I kidding? Arg. Ah! Just hurry over here. There's a zombie here. If you don't believe me, perhaps I can be free to show a picture I took of it with my plot phone. I'm sure that's what it is. I'm not sure how you can prove me wrong. Hey, Dr. Drake. Ah, holy crap, man. At least clear your throat or something before you start talking instead of scaring the crap out of me. I'm sorry, but I need to talk to you about something. What is it? I'm about to buy flowers for Miss Green. Your ex-wife? Why not? We've known each other well. Anyways, what requires my attention? Remember when I visited Jessica Dimps at the hospital? How I commented that she looked like a zombie? Now that statement is just making fun of me. How so? I called Simon Nils to straighten a leg at my coffee table so I can prepare for a meeting about Dimps' disappearance. I was in my office when this happened, whenever it was. I heard screaming. I thought I'd check on him. When I got there, he looked the way I saw Dimps. Laying on the ground with blood around the mouth and on the hands. Blood around the mouth and on the hands. Yes. Laying on the ground. No. He was standing. Standing? I find that hard to believe. How is such thing even possible? I don't know, but that's what happened. I even took a picture of it with my plot phone to prove it. Oh no! I suppose the same thing that happened to Nils happened to Dimps earlier? Maybe, but there's also a possibility that some kind of plague hit Jessica involving some kind of toxic waste. What's with all the science fiction stuff, Harlem? I believe you about the whole zombie stuff, but what made Dimps the way we got her? That is what we need to find out. How are we going to find out what made Dimps a zombie? Considering that we don't know where Dimps is, I don't know how we're going to find out what's causing everyone to look and behave the way they look and behave. What do you mean you don't know where Dimps is? She's in the hospital, isn't she? Not anymore. She escaped this morning. Escaped? Either that or someone kidnapped her? Probably the former, because aren't zombies made through an infection passed by other zombies? You've given me a theory, Harlem. A theory? What is that supposed to mean? Since infections passed from other zombies to living humans make more zombies, a possible conclusion I have is that maybe zombies do exist. And by some kind of science lab disaster did she become one herself. So Dimps is now a zombie and she infected Nils. It's nothing more than a theory, Harlem. I don't know for sure. Did you take any action when you saw Nils as a zombie? I called 911 and told them the situation, but the zombie was coming through my door, so I had to make a run for it when I got the chance. That means the FBI is already on their way to Plot High School. You're not even there to tell them much more. Don't worry so much, Drake. They'll see the zombie no problem. Now that I think about it, you're right. Once they see the zombie, the best they can do is hold some kind of town meeting about it.
Attention everyone, I need your attention. Thank you for coming for this mandatory town meeting. I hope you understand why all of you officials are here. Especially you, Mrs. Kennedy.
Is this about my daughter? Have you found her yet?
Yes. And no.
Aww.
Principal Pete Harlem of Plot High School is going to share with us some details.
Thank you, President. See, it all started yesterday evening. I was organizing the meeting room for a meeting, when I noticed one of the legs of the coffee table to be bent. I checked on it when I was placing the refreshments on the table and it started tilting. I then proceeded to call a fixerman. Simon Nils came. I left him to fix the leg while I worked in my office on organizing the meeting discussing Dimp's disappearance. I then heard screaming. I thought I'd check on Nils. When I saw him, he didn't look normal. Then I had.
Just a moment, Harlem. What do you mean by Nils didn't look normal?
There was blood coming out his mouth. There was even blood in certain places of his body. His skin was more of a pale grayish color. I even took a picture of it myself with my plot phone.
Well, Mr. Harlem, since you are displaying evidence from your cell phone, I grant you permission to use it, but just so we can have the evidence. I would much prefer if everyone else were to see it. Can you connect your plot phone to the projector via USB so it can be projected on the board for all to see?
I would, except I didn't bring my USB adapter. We can try connecting it using Bluetooth.
Why not? This is a new projector I got, so we might as well try connecting your phone with Bluetooth. Now I understand the situation. Did you see Jessica at any time before or after this?
The day before the event, I visited Dimps at the hospital Dr. Drake works at. Yes, Winkler, what he says is true.
Well, Dr. Drake, care to explain what happened at the hospital?
There wasn't anything I witnessed in the hospital that triggered Dimps' mysterious disappearance, but I remember all of my patients at the present moment. Dimps was no different.
What do you think could easily have happened based on what Harlem showed us?
Harlem actually explained that situation about Nils to me. That was what leads me to this theory that Dimps somehow became a zombie and has infected Nils with that same virus.
I don't have any counter-arguments against your theory, so it must be true.
How can it be true? Zombies don't exist.
Well, Mrs. Kennedy, what else could have done that to Nils? Besides, zombies were created from a plague that originated from a secret military experiment. Perhaps some particles from a similar experiment got to Dimps somehow and gave her that plague.
Well, I suppose you're right about this.
President Winkler, what do you think we should do about this?
I suggest that the best way to handle this is to send our team of police officers and medical experts to try to capture the zombie Nils, wherever he may be, so we can take him to a science lab for experimentation.
So what we're gonna do is go up to that zombie and bring him to the lab.
Remember Lee, that as long as that zombie doesn't bite you, you will be fine.
What kind of defense mechanism should we use against zombies to stop them from infecting us?
Just have a weapon ready and whack the zombie over the head. But wouldn't that kill the zombie? Not if its brain remains intact. A zombie only dies if its brain has been destroyed.
That doesn't sound like a bad idea. All officers and doctors, bring a weapon, but no guns, swords, or knives, since we don't want to kill the zombie. Just get something like a bat or maybe a wrench. Anything that isn't sharp-ended.
We'll do the job, Winkler.
I think it's only appropriate that we thank Dr. Drake for this entire idea, because if it weren't for him, we might not have been able to gain this information unless there is someone else here who is a zombie expert.
I officially adjourn this meeting.
As the chief, I suggest that we split up to search for Nils. If you find Dimps as well, that would be equally as wonderful, but our main goal is looking for Nils. How will we go about this splitting into pairs? Each pair should have a doctor and a police officer. Dr. Lee, since you were the one who brought Dimps in the hospital, you come with me.
I guess that means Dr. Drake is with me then?
Alright, Honey Bunch, let's go.
Please, never call me Honey Bunch.
Well, if that's the way you wanna go about it.
We should start looking for Nils immediately if we are ever to find him today.
She's right. Get moving, everyone. Seriously, Dad? Why do you need to check that I'm working every day? You know I'm a responsible employee the whole time. You know I gotta check on my employees, Steve. Even my children, though I know how responsible they are. Hurry up and get those headlines in. We need more newspaper clippings with the headline, Builder found as a zombie. Causes unknown. I know. It just takes some time to get it in there right. Keep up the good work. It will be done soon, I'm sure it will. Me too. Now you're peeking over my shoulder is kinda distracting and it creeps me out. I know it does.
We're live in 3, 2, 1.
Platapolis Times brings us the 7 p.m. news. As far as we know, there is a zombie out on the loose. For a long time, the residents of Platapolis believed that zombies didn't exist. Now we received evidence from Principal Pete Harlem of the Plot High School when he took an image of the builder Simon Nils with blood all over his face and torso. Let's turn the time over to Paul Miller to give us more information.
Thank you, Mrs. Evans. I am here with the bartender of Joe's, Benjamin Sharma. So, Mr. Sharma, how do you feel about this situation? I've never seen a real-life zombie in my entire life. I don't know if I really want to believe that this story is true. The story is true, but please express your feelings on this. A detective Pablo Conroy told me he was coming to this bar to do more investigation. Well, I did see a detective come in, yes, but he never really stated his name. He just started walking around looking for a Simon Nils. Did you hear anything that sounded close to what a zombie sounds like? No. It's possible the zombie got in from the back door, however that happens. Zombies can break down wooden doors, they can get past wooden fences with no problem. I guess the detective should be able to lead the zombie outside so the police force can trap the zombie. Is that what the police are doing? Of course, Sharma, why else would we be having this story about finding the zombie out on the news? I couldn't imagine. Alright, Mrs. Evans, back to you.
That's all the time we have now. Tune in tomorrow at 7 so we can have results of the search.
Just out of curiosity, Lucy, how do you think this whole zombie situation is going to be handled?
Based on what has been said over where Paul is, they should have the zombie.
Sir, it is very important that I use your phone.
Alright. Here you go. What number do you need to call?
Detective Conroy. Yes, Polly. I found the zombie. Tell Chief Cervantes to get the rest of the police force outside Joe's with a big cage ASAP. Will do, over and out. Just one more thing before you. Everybody stay calm. Bartender, give me that beer bottle so I can bash that zombie's brains in. This way, brainless. Aren't we going a bit fast? I get carsick.
Polly said we needed to hurry to Joe's, didn't he? So that's what we're doing.
What is that? A zombie? A real one?
Yeah.
Just leaving him out there for the police to take him and investigate on what the heck is going on. You know, I'm a big fan of zombies. I had no idea they existed until I read those papers today. Well, sir, you haven't told me who you are. You're right, I haven't. Name's Buck Andrews. What about you? Detective Pablo Conroy. Nice to see you around. You too. That just has to be good news.
Goodness, Conroy, one would think the zombie's gotten drunk.
You're not wrong about that. So what are you gonna do now? Put him in the back of the police car?
Yeah. I hope this zombie's not dead, and it better not wake up while we're driving. We want this experiment to run smoothly.
I bet you do.
Who's this?
This is Buck Andrews. He's apparently some kind of zombie fanatic.
Know a lot about zombies?
I've been studying into zombies since I saw Night of the Living Dead. There's a lot to learn about how zombies work.
Well, zombie expert, you're coming with us so we can do some experimenting.
Perfect! Because you need an expert if you are ever to solve this mystery behind these zombifications. The results seem to be showing that Nils was infected by another zombie, which explains why he's like this. Jessica Dimps. What was that?
Jessica Dimps is a student of Plot High School. About 3 days ago, she mysteriously disappeared, but was found and brought to our hospital.
She looked the way that zombie looked, but was in a coma. The day after we found her, she was gone. I think I may have figured out what happened to our experiment. Our experiment? Who was your partner in the experiment? About a week ago, me and my partner, Tara Conlon, were working on a secret military experiment to mix different chemicals to set gassy traps for any terrorists that try to come to Plotopolis. A couple days after we started, we came back to the lab and the equipment disappeared.
I guess this means whoever stole the equipment must have spilled some and the chemicals got to Dimps, making her the way she is now.
I don't know of any other logical answer, so I'll probably say yes. Until we have confirmation. Confirmation? How are we gonna confirm where those thieves were intending to take the toxic waste, let alone where it struck Dimps? Easy. By searching everywhere for the toxic waste. Also, the place you found Dimps was most likely where the waste was.
When I found Dimps, I didn't see any toxic waste anywhere. Besides, why would anybody want to leave toxic waste just laying around?
In order to solve this matter, don't you think you ought to call your partner to this lab for help? You're right about something, Drake. I better call Conlon to this lab. Tell her the address too. Yes, I will definitely tell her the, why wouldn't I do that?
Where's my daughter?
Who's this?
You'll have to excuse Mrs. Kennedy. Ever since Jessica Dimps disappeared, she has been complaining about it every single day.
Her patience levels are far too low, let's be honest. She is a pain in the rear to deal with.
I have the absolute right to come in here and complain. I'm the president's secretary, or have you forgotten? Of course we haven't forgotten, but your complaining has gotten you nowhere.
Just a moment now. Mrs. Kennedy, how in the name of crap did you find this place?
A mother knows her daughter well enough to figure out where she is.
If that was the way it works, how come you came right in here only to find that she isn't here, but rather you see us experimenting in one of the people she has infected?
Is that who it was supposed to be?
Yeah. Did you forget that town meeting? They already talked about how Nils was infected. It's not my fault if you have the memory of a chicken. Yeah!
Want a more logical explanation to your question, Drake? My husband used to work here.
That's more like it. You're lucky I'm not your boss.
Kennedy, please leave before we call President Winkler over here. Fine, you trio of dimwits. I'll go. But it ain't over yet, oh no. Much more is yet to come.
What was with that woman?
Never mind Mrs. Kennedy. Just call Miss Conlon.
Yes, Chief Cervantes?
Just came to report on the zombie.
Okay. What about it?
The zombie has been caught and is being experimented on by Buck Andrews.
Buck Andrews?
Apparently, he is an expert on zombies and is working on possible solutions as to how these zombies came to be.
What kind of answers has he come up with?
He mentioned stuff about how he and some partner of his were working on a secret military experiment, but one day the equipment was stolen. Possibly laid out around the same spot Dimps came in the state she was in.
Speaking of Dimps, have you found where she is yet?
Police forces are still scanning all over the area to find Dimps. So far, no luck.
As far as I know, she could have left town, or is in some building infecting someone else.
If only we had more officers on the force, this search wouldn't take as long.
Chief, you just gave me an idea. If we were to put up some posters to hire more police officers, people might start applying and eventually, we just might have enough officers to make the search for Dimps the most effective.
President, I'm not really sure if this is such a good idea.
Of course it's a good idea. When have I ever not come up with a good idea?
I see where you're going with this one, Winkler. Hiring more officers? I never realized how ingenious this sounds.
Get to work on printing the posters.
Got it. Oh, and if Mrs. Kennedy comes to me at all to complain about her daughter, what should I do?
Let French deal with her. She has the best methods possible for situations like that.
Okay. Thank you.
Buck, what did you find about the zombie?
My gosh, you scared me. You should knock first.
You expect me to knock before entering a room with a potential threat inside?
Relax, Tara. I'll tell you about it. The zombie was previously Fixerman Simon Nils until he was infected by another zombie that was created from our military experiment.
Our experiment? That's what caused the original zombie that infected Mr. Nils?
Apparently.
So whoever broke into our lab to steal our equipment must have been trying to use it to make some kind of zombie apocalypse.
That's possible. But it's also possible that he's just a normal thief who dropped the equipment on the way back.
What was the name of the original zombie?
Jessica Dimps. Apparently, she was a student at Plott High School. Her mother came by to complain about how we haven't found her daughter yet.
How big of a knack is she?
A pretty big knack. But she has a point. While this zombie is being contained in this cylinder, we should scout around Plottopolis looking for Miss Dimps.
How will we recognize her?
From what I understand, now that she's a zombie, she wears a gray jacket and has blood stains all over her face and on her shirt.
Gray jacket, blood stains on face and shirt. Okay, this better be enough information.
And's covered with blood.
What's with this email from a Sophie Kennedy asking if a Jessica Dimps has come to this restaurant? I don't keep track of customers' names. It's not my job. What was that crawling noise? Whatever it is, I'm not risking my life to find out. How can someone be banging at the door right now? This restaurant is just about to open.
Holy crap. Where are you? Do you work here?
I'm the manager of Dada's Diner. I just got to my office and this zombie suddenly came in and walked toward me.
A zombie. Coincidentally, that's exactly what we're looking for.
I never called for whoever you two are.
We'll talk about that later, sir. If you don't mind, I'll need to use one of these tiny plates on the counter.
What for? You were just about to hit the zombie?
Is this the zombie you were talking about, Buck?
Yup, that's her alright.
Her? What do you mean, her?
Jessica Dimps. I assume you know about her disappearance.
Not at all.
You should really keep up with the news.
Oh, and before you ask, my name is Buck Andrews. This here's my partner, Tara Conlon.
We've been looking for this zombie ever since we learned about this situation with the fixerman Simon Nils being a zombie.
Where's Nils right now?
He's back at the lab. He's being contained in a cylinder where it's been experimented on.
So that was where you got the info about Miss Dimps?
Yeah, now we'll need to call and the rest of the officers over to Dada's Diner to imprison this zombie.
Well, alright, you go do that.
Hello? Can I get a police chief Cervantes on the line? I'm not getting a response. I don't even know if the chief is at his office.
I wonder if that zombie is still unconscious.
She'd better be.
Where is she? I know she wasn't dead yet. But wherever she is, she'd better not have done anything to the manager of this restaurant.
If she has, we need to be ready for her. Hello? Is anyone there?
Dimps. If you're in here, come out with or without your hands up.
They must have read that note at the lab by now.
You didn't even put in where we were going first.
What did it even matter where we were going first?
Whatever, it would have been nice for the cops to know.
We should head back to the lab.
What for?
To check on Nils, obviously.
Conlon, Andrews, I was just checking the results you found. I also need to ask what Mr. Nils is doing in that container.
Like you were probably told, we were what the? Did you turn him back to normal?
He was back to normal when I got here.
But that's impossible.
Anything is possible if you set your mind to it.
He's even talking normal. I don't understand.
As far as I was researching about zombies, it is absolutely impossible to turn them back to human. Apparently, those rumors must have been false, because here's Nils back to normal like he wasn't when we got him.
This monitor says that Nils has been contained in that cylinder for 14 hours and 13 minutes total.
That must mean...
Zombie? I don't know what it is you guys are babbling about. Zombies don't even exist. Apparently, they do, as we found out over this entire week.
We're looking for Dimps right now.
I know you're looking for Dimps. I read your note.
What was it you were going to say, Buck?
I was saying that the whole thing about the zombie being contained for 14 hours and 13 minutes must mean that in order to turn a zombie back to normal, we must keep it contained for 12 hours without anything to eat.
If that was how it worked, how come Dimps is still a zombie?
Because she wasn't contained. Nils was. That's why he's human again.
Conlon, what do you mean Dimps is still a zombie?
We encountered her at Dada's diner. We tried to call you. Where were you?
On my way here.
No wonder we went long enough without a response, so the manager of Dada's diner can disappear about after we knocked that zombie out cold. We think that manager's infected as well.
Well, why are we wasting our time talking about this when we should be out looking for both of them?
He's right. We should be out there looking for Dimps and that manager.
Chief, who is the manager of Dada's diner?
Manager's name? Miguel Cabrera. I know because I have seen him many times.
So this means not only do we need to find Dimps, but we must also find Cabrera. Can this month get any worse?
Yes, if everybody in the entire town is infected and turned into zombies.
Well, if that's a possible outcome, then we need to hurry up and find both zombies. Enter. President Winkler, there has been a shocking discovery that has been made by Tara Conlon and Buck Andrews. About the zombie contained? Not a zombie anymore. What do you mean? When I got back, Nils was human again. Interesting. What was the cure? Apparently, if a zombie was contained for 12 hours straight without any food to eat, their zombie nature would fade and their body will be retoned naturally. In other words, by starving a contained zombie for 12 hours, persons regain their human behavior. How psychologically confusing. I know, but that's what I've come to understand. Well, if that's how it works, then we may as well set back to find Jessica Dimps. Already setting out to do that. Also, we must look for manager Miguel Cabrera of Dada's Diner. Why? Did he go missing too? How? I don't know. I was only told about it by Conlon and Andrews. They said that Cabrera was probably infected by Dimps. Infected? My gosh. You are definitely gonna need to hurry with Conlon and Andrews in order to find both zombies and take them to the lab to contain them. Unfortunately, we can only contain one zombie in that cylinder at a time. Well, put one of them in a jail cell then. That ought to save a world of trouble. It better if Plotopolis is to be safe. Go! Find Dimps and Cabrera.
Toxic waste. Is this supposed to be the street Dimps was infected?
Must be. Strange thing is, our concoctions made the kind if toxic waste that would create that zombie virus.
I know that. Don't tell me stuff I already know.
Take it easy, Tara. I was only making sure things were running as smoothly as they should. Now, where are we supposed to find Dimps and Cabrera out here?
They're probably not out here, but somewhere else. Infecting someone else.
If those zombies don't get found soon enough, then what are we supposed to do?
Sounds like a question that begs a logical answer. Obviously, we let those zombies free, and everybody's gonna be a zombie, and an entire apocalypse starts.
An apocalypse? We can't let that happen. Wherever those zombies are, we need to start searching now till they'll be Jin before we even have the time to notice they've disappeared.
Such circumstances may have already happened. Besides, Buck even asked what we're supposed to do if those zombies are gone and we're unable to find them. The obvious thing to do is to keep looking. We won't stop until we find both zombies, and preferably every other zombie we can find.
There are certain zombie legends that state if the main zombie is either killed or reverted back to being human, the virus might stop.
Might?
Might? What's wrong with might? We don't know if it actually works.
Buck, unless we know for...
I think it's a great idea. Let's try capturing Dimps and put her in that cylinder to put Buck's statement to the test.
If it doesn't work?
We'll just drive around the city looking for more zombies.
We could be doing this all day. Why must you be so reliant on what you think may work?
Tara, all I'm doing is making assumptions on what may or may not work based on what the various zombie legends say about how zombie viruses are cured.
What if those zombies are wearing any kind of protective gear on their head?
Well, I don't know how possible it would actually be to get the helmet off the zombie's head without it biting your hand off. We shouldn't risk finding out.
Maybe if we try forcing it off in some way.
Force the helmet off. Are you out of your mind? That's not possible.
It actually may be. I think it might work well if someone were to keep that zombie distracted to buy another one time to take the helmet off.
See how well you two come up with solutions together? We can only knock out the zombies by bashing them in the head with something metal.
Really? Because Tara knocked Dimps out with one of those plates at Dada Diner. I'm pretty sure it wasn't metal.
It wasn't. It was made of bone china. I assumed the chief meant that we can only knock the zombies asleep with hard felt objects.
Right. Get whatever hard objects you can find, whether it be wood, silver.
Already ahead of you. We already brought wooden bats with us on our search for these zombies.
Remember, Buck, stay close to me. There could
be so many zombies to deal with at once. I know, Tara, I get it. You don't need to go over this stuff with me over and over and over again. It gets pretty repetitive.
Lucky you two have bats, because I also brought mine.
Considering the demons we may need to battle through, I assume we should be ready for the big fight. At this point, I don't see any reason not to be ready.
Mr. Andrews, I've trusted you well since those discoveries you have been making about the zombies. I trust you to lead on and get us to those zombies.
Definitely. Follow me, you two.
First I have to be a substitute teacher for Mr. Hernandez, but now I gotta keep myself locked up in case zombies come in. Hope none of them break down that door. But. Zombies.
Did anyone hear that?
I heard that scream, but where did it come from? Sounds and looks like it came from Bentley's Pizzeria and Grill.
Would you look at that? 2 zombies right there for us.
We've tracked down Jessica Dimps for sure. Now we can knock them down cold and take them back to the station.
Stop wasting your time talking and do something already. Right.
Carla, stay right where you are. We're gonna take this zombie to the science lab so we can turn her back to normal.
Well, if you say so. Come on, I know I kept that thing somewhere. Ma'am, I'm gonna need to use your phone to contact President Winkler. Can't you just use your own I don't have it. Now I need to use that telephone. You should have brought your communicator with you in case you need to call anybody to come here. I thought I did. You should have checked first. Stop giving me bullcrap and let me use your friggin' telephone. You know, maybe you could just check your pack again. Stop wasting time and take me to. Okay, take it easy. I'll take you to the telephone. You'd better hurry about it after all the crap you put me through before finally doing your job. Officer French, you'll need to get the rest of the squad here now.
Come on. I've been on the line for about 20 seconds. Surely I could get a sort of ray. Oh crap.
You coming with the rest of the force? To Bentley's Pizzeria and Grill? Perfect, we'll meet you there. The police are on their way.
You mean you guys are already on your way? I haven't even gotten a call through. Hello? Hello?
Okay, can you please just explain to me what is going on? I called the police because we needed them over to catch the zombies. Now all I need to do is drag this zombie out the door for the police to see. Chief Cervantes. What are you doing here? Where is Buck? What's going on with that other zombie?
The other zombie? Yeah, about that. She woke up and killed Buck. Now I don't exactly know what to do now that the rest of the police are on their way. I called and checked. How can they already be coming? Nobody called them, right?
I called them.
You did? Why?
To take care of the situation with this zombie.
Have you forgotten that we still have another zombie to deal with?
No, of course Cervantes behind you. Do you still have your bat with you?
Yes! So what?
Hurry up and use it.
Okay. Both zombies are out cold, right?
I think so. Now all we gotta do is wait for the rest of the police squad to arrive. Not a moment too soon. Well done, Miss Conlon. Chief Cervantes. Where's Mr. Andrews?
Buck? He didn't make it.
You guys should host some sort of memorial service for him once these zombies are returned to normal.
Well, that depends if he is not. Oh, never mind.
Take both of these zombies to the cells. Chief, you remember where the zombie got to Buck?
I think it was down the street to the right from the front door of this restaurant.
Alright then, lead the way.
Winkler sent me something. Another town meeting. At 12:30. What? Another zombie problem? Because I'd hate to deal with two of them. Oh wait. Oh, it's meant to honor the heroes of Plotopolis that saved the town from a possible zombie apocalypse that could have meant a takeover and the destruction of Plotopolis. It's mandatory for all officers of the law. Well, that means me. I'll be there.
Thank you everyone for coming to this mandatory town meeting. As you might know, we have some heroes to honor for their breathtaking attempts to prevent Plotopolis from being destroyed by a zombie apocalypse.
Are they bringing my daughter back to me?
Yes, Mrs. Kennedy, we're bringing your daughter back to you. Gregory Drake, bring her in.
Jessica Demps, your mother is waiting for you.
Jessica. My sweet girl.
Mother.
Let's head back home now, Jessica. Shall we, President Winkler?
Well, normally, I don't let anybody leave a town meeting early, but for you two, I'll make an exception. I'd like to take the time to present our heroes. They are Tara Conlon and Chief Henry Cervantes. We would also present Buck Andrews, but he was unable to survive the fight against the living dead. We will hold a memorial service for our fallen hero. For now, we shall take the time to thank the surviving heroes. Tara Conlon, you first.
First off, I'd like to say thanks to President Winkler for allowing me and my partner, Buck Andrews, to go out in the streets of Plotopolis to solve the mystery of the zombification and prevent a zombie apocalypse. I appreciate him for letting us use our efforts to figure out how these monsters are to be dealt with. What we decide for the honor of the town, not just ourselves. This is something we have very easily come to understand, even before we got a hold of our first zombie. If we didn't understand such thing, then we would not have had the honor we have right now. You may not have known me then, but you most certainly know me now. Before any of you ask what I am going to do after these events, I'm going to answer that question, saying, I will go on a vacation to Plattsburgh. I am sure they have wonderful reservations there. It's what I come to understand and hope not to gain any sort of disappointment. Thank you for your time. I am proud to be a hero to you all. This isn't just for me, but for all the citizens.
Thank you, Miss Conlon. That was a very inspiring speech that you put out for us. Chief Henry Cervantes, come up and explain your experiences.
President Winkler, if you don't mind, I'm going to talk about how I experienced the death of Buck Andrews. He and I were dragging the unconscious zombie Jessica Dimps across the street back to the station, when she suddenly knocked us both to the ground. I was lucky to get back on my feet, but Andrews wasn't. The zombie bit him on the leg, rendering it useless, then proceeded to crawl herself up to his face. With a bite on the cheek and much more scratches, Andrews was nothing more than a bloody corpse. Before all that happened, I was just getting paperwork and about how baffled I was that such events could occur to Jessica Dimps. When Mrs. Kennedy came in like a raving madman demanding to see her daughter again. Though ironically enough, that was the exact reason she came. I'm sure you officials know all about Mrs. Kennedy at this point. She is a woman with demands, but is also the secretary, which is not even close to being as much of a leader as the president. Now everybody knows that the president is the lead ruler of the government. We need the president so the government can stay running. We are so grateful for our president to have survived the undead.
Thanks for the speech, Chief. I especially love how you point out how important the president's job is. Now I, Richard Winkler, president of Plotopolis, officially adjourn this meeting. Come to the Plottin Cemetery at 8 p.m. so we could memorialize Buck Andrews. At the age of 43, Buck Andrews has met his end at the hands of an undead beast that has risen from hell to challenge the human race and cause havoc. I place these carnations near the grave in his memory, in hopes that its fragrance will destroy the foul scents that were spread into his body. We shall now have a moment of silence.
of blood to terrorize your neighborhood. And whosoever shall be found without the soul for getting down must stand and face the hounds of hell and rot inside a corpse's shell.
I'm gonna do it tonight.
Stench is in the air, the funk of 40,000 years, and grisly ghouls from every tomb are closing in to seal your doom. And though you fight to stay alive, your body starts to shiver, for no immortal can resist the evil of the thriller. Ha 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 ha!